In this video, I'm going to show you how to level up all your refining trade skills in New World from level 200 to 250 day 1 of the expansion. Now, for some people, you will not want to do that, but for others, this will be milk that you just want to lap up. Let me show you the numbers and then we'll talk about why you should do this, why you shouldn't do this, and some little interesting tidbits along the way. If you want to support me, becoming a Patreon is the best way, or you can come and follow me over on Twitch. I might be live right now. Don't worry, I'm not going to show you the numbers like this. I just want to mention that I do have a spreadsheet and I will leave a link in the description. However, let me go through them specifically and talk about each one individually. So the first one we're going to talk about is mining. Going from mining 200 to 250 once the expansion drops, you will need this. Now, I'll not bother with the exact total amount of XP that you need, and we will not bother with the XP per smelt. I'll just tell you the actual materials. So using the numbers that are on the PTR not live, which of course is subject to change, you need to smelt 1084 orichalcum ingots. And to do that, you need 1084 flux, 8672 orichalcum ore, 2168 star metal ingots, and 2168 charcoal. Now, it's worth noting that you can actually smelt orichalcum using platinum, but it does require 3 platinum ingots instead of the 2 star metal. You do get a little bit extra XP though. Now, there are other things that you might want to do while you're leveling, of course, like asmodium. Once you sort of like hit the expansion, maybe you want to start crafting that asmodium rather than doing it now. And of course, if you do get any mithril, then using that to level up will be quite significant. But the reason we're using the tier 5 mats right now that already exist is because they already exist. You can get these right now. Mithril is probably going to be in significant serious demand, so that's why we're doing this with the tier 5. It's worth noting that the value of these orichalcums then might go down if everybody does something like this. So the next one we're going to talk about is leatherworking 200 to 250. For this, it looks like you need 1287 infused leather. For that, you will need 10,296 iron hide, 2574 layered leather, and then 1287 tannin. Now, it's worth noting that this one is probably the easiest one that you could get the new material dark hide. So a lot of the bottleneck for the new materials is going to be just getting them. With leatherworking and skinning, you can literally just find the mobs, kill them, and then skin them. There's probably going to be mobs that you can kill to get this. You might not get it in like the fastest ratio, but you could probably get that new material. And of course, like using that to up your leatherworking will be quite good if you want to do that. However, if you just want to be leatherworking 250 day 1, then this is what you should get. And then onto weaving 200 to 250, you need 1216 infused silk. For that, the amount of wire fiber you need is 9,728. The amount of silk you need is 2,432. By the way, silk doesn't show in the trading post. You sort of have to click infuse silk and then click the subcategory. It's bugged. I don't know why. Maybe it'll be fixed on the expansion. Who knows? And of course, for the wire weave, you will need 1,216 of it. Pretty simple, that one. Again, I think the new material, the spin weave, I think it's called, will be in a lot of demand. So doing this actually sort of makes sense. For woodworking 200 to 250, you need 1,216 ironwood planks, you need 9,728 ironwood, 2,432 weirdwood planks, and 1,216 sandpaper. And then stone cutting is actually one of the more interesting ones because there's quite a few ways you could level stone cutting, and I don't really know what's best because it all depends on what's your bang for your buck kind of thing. There's going to be a lot of requirement for obsidian, so if you've got a lot of lodestone, you could maybe do it like that. And there's a new material, I sort of forgot what it's called, in the expansion, but you'd have to go and farm some new stuff to get that, I think. Whereas if you just want to go with what you've got right now, then there's 2 sort of main options that I see. You can fuse the gems or you can cut them. So for example, you could do 235 pristine infusions, and that is where you would take 1,175 blue gems and you would need 235 quints. Now the quints would have to be of the right type, so don't just buy loads of different gems and then buy one type of quint. You have to sort of match them up, okay? Or an alternative would be to actually cut the gems. Now I sort of feel like it's going to be better to do a combination of the two, because cut gems are still going to be valuable and so will the fused gems. So this is all sort of like worth depending on the price you pay. But if you were going to do cut gems, you would do 313 cut pristine gems, and you would need 313 pristine gems of course, but you would also need 936 quints. again, of the right type. The whole purpose for doing this, if you do so choose to do it, is to be able to refine the new Prismatic cooldown, because it's going to be in very high demand very early on, and possibly for a long time after actually. So if you come to the smelter, you've probably already seen this if you've been watching my videos, but there's one important new material added. I say one important, there's actually quite a few, but right down at the bottom it's this Prismatic ingots. Well, of course you need to be level 250. And then this has a daily cooldown, so you can only do 10 per day. Now the bottleneck will be twofold. It will be people getting to 250, and then it will be the mithril ingots. Now mithril is going to be selling very, very high when the game goes live, when the expansion goes live, because it's going to be in very short demand. However, I think people will probably sell it because they realize that people need it for the Prismatic ingot. And in theory, the Prismatic ingot will be worth more than the mithril, of course. So I still think this will have value. Is the value that you will make higher than the value you would spend on the materials right now? Well, that I have no idea. And the reason we're suggesting to level up from 200 to 250 using orichalcum ingots rather than the new mithril is simply because of that, right? Yes, I've got some mithril ore here on the PTR, but there was nobody around me. I could literally just farm that to my heart's content. When this goes live, this is going to be in insane demand, okay? So whilst it's true, you get much more experience from using mithril. Like if you look here, one mithril is 40,000 XP per smelt, whereas one orichalcum is 12,000. Ignore the triple base, it's the base that matters here, okay? So sure, if you can go out there and farm mithril, but do you know what's that's gonna take you time, right? That's not instant. You could literally be, with the materials provided, smelting 250, weaving 250, cutting 250, etc. Now just quickly to address the are you optimizing the fun out of the game? No, I don't think so. Some people have fun in different ways. If you don't have fun this way, then don't do it. It's as simple as that. Now one question that's maybe a little bit impossible to answer is, should you buy the materials right now? I think probably not, because the materials are very much high priced right now. They're overpriced, let's just face it. However, what you could do if you wanted is to go out there, you've got your little, let's call it a shopping list, or you could make it a gathering list. Yes, orichalcum is being farmed very, very heavily right now, so you're very gonna struggle, sure, but there's no harm in trying. Go find like an area where there's just 2 nodes or something and sit there all day while you're working. That's what I used to do. Put in buy orders if you like. You might not want to do it in all of the refining professions, but you might want to do it in a couple. Like leatherworking, for example, going out farming and killing the mobs. That's relatively easy to do. Everybody can do that. It's not even going to be over contested. So value is subjective, obviously. I will put my spreadsheet in the description. It's going to be like a Google Doc that you can just click and check out if you want. It's nothing fancy. If there's any mistakes, I did do this live on stream, so let's blame them. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching the video. Big shout out to my Patreons. If you really want to support the channel, then that is the best way to do so. Or you can, of course, come and watch me on Twitch. As of this going live, I will probably be live, but I stream basically in the daytime UK time. When the expansion drops, I'm going to be streaming a hell of a lot more. What you should do though is have a most beautiful day, like and subscribe. Goodbye.